Is your W body cursed with the ABS/traction control light on? You could never figure out how to get that thing off. You've replaced wheel bearing after wheel bearing. Still always seems to come back. Well, tell you what. Get yourself a new harness that runs along the control arm. 9 times out of 10, they break here or around here. Just replace the whole harness. Easy as that. All you have to do is scan the code so you know which wheel, front left, right rear, yada yada yada. On this particular car, this 03 Grand Prix, it is the front left. Could be any of them, but on my particular car it's front left. I'm going to show you how to replace it. It's pretty easy. Now, I'm kind of a pansy. I like to have jack stands. I don't like being under a vehicle without it being safe. You do as you wish. It is your life. I'd rather not go out by a Grand Prix. Now, what you can do is peel back the wire loom. Right there, you can see there's kind of a split in there. You can peel it back and inspect the entire line of wire. You will more than likely find the brake, and what you can do is you can repair that brake right there. However, these are fairly old vehicles. I would recommend replacing the entire line, because this wire does get exposed to quite a lot of stress with the suspension constantly flexing. It's just brittle and old. I'd recommend replacing the entire line. So start by over here, just disconnect this guy, just like that, and then work your way over and over until you get to the body of the main harness back here. To give yourself a little bit more working room, you can remove this piece. It's pretty easy. You got 2 plastic clips. Boom, boom. The hard one is the hidden one there. It is located about there. See the eyelet? That one is a little challenging to get to. However, it's not really that big of a deal. It's just a little short Phillips number 2. Alright, I have pulled this loom apart and I found my brake. It is right here. See that when I spread the wire open? See that break in the wire? It's right there by the connector too. There's actually a couple others like right here, not even that far away from it. And if you look way down here, there's another break way up there. So I actually got 3 of them in this one row. Alright, here's the comparison between the new/old connector. If you notice, the wire colors are backwards for my particular car. Yellow is on the right versus over here, yellow is on the left. So when I'm wiring this up, I want to make sure I purposely swap the colors. That way I have continuity the same from factory. This is CarQuest. Here's your part number that I'm using. I do know other brands make them, like Dorman and Standard. I can't remember what the brand is. Standard something, STD. There's a few other name brands I don't really know. They may have the correct colors. They may completely be different colors altogether. I would recommend matching polarity with factory and keeping it that way. After you've chosen where you want to cut, here's the wire that I've just cut. What I do, tuck it down low like that. And I'll meet you down on the bottom of the car. Look at that. Now we got plenty of room underneath the car. Right there. Do our splicing. These harnesses, or replacement harness I should say, are longer than what you need. Just line them up. There we go. And then make sure however much you cut. See, look, I got probably another 10 inches. Cut it shorter for however much you want. I would recommend giving yourself another couple extra inches just in case you've got to splice some more wires or you mess up a crimp. Just give yourself a couple inches. There's my ending. So what I would recommend is not cutting there. Pull back the harness and cut about there, leaving the loom. You want to leave all of this new loom as much as possible. That way, when you reconnect, you can push the loom all the way up into the factory harness and nobody will ever know that this harness was replaced. Just like this, here is my factory harness that I've cut off. I'm giving myself a couple extra inches on the new harness, and this wire loom I'm leaving intact. Now, as far as connecting your new wires to your factory harness, you have to have a way to connect them. There's a couple ways you can go about it. One, you can solder. There's pros and cons to that. Two, you can use the pre-included little butt connectors. I don't particularly like these because they add bulk to the harness. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to use these non-insulated crimp connectors, and then I'm going to come at it with some marine heat shrink. I'm using these specifically because there is glue on the inside, so when you use your heat gun, it melts the glue and it becomes a watertight seal. These do not add very much bulk at all to the harness, and once they get loomed, you'll never even see the connection. And being crimped, I don't have to have a worry about it being too stiff, just like what the solder does. It makes the connection really, really stiff, and you get a weak point in the connection. Just crimp them on, and don't forget heat shrink. Alright, we're under the car now. Before you do your final crimp, make sure you have the heat shrink in there. Very important. And then grab your heat gun, and just shrink it down the whole way. Alright, we are back on top. I have fished the wire up through. What I like to do now is right here is where I spliced. I like to use some electrical tape, wrap it right there, just give it a little bit more support. And just like that, match the factory. I mean, there's already electrical tape from the factory like that. And then just start feeding the loom up. Now that you've got the harness completely replaced, now it's time to connect. What I would recommend is these always come with the new ones. Recommend just plopping them down where they're supposed to go and then put the wire into it. Feed it through. Make sure you give yourself enough slack. For instance, between there and there, that would technically work, but I would recommend backing off just that little bit, and then that's it. You got that little bit of slack so the suspension can move without pulling and pushing it. And there you have it. It is replaced. Looks professional, like it's supposed to be, because it is. You did just have your wheel off, so make sure you torque your wheel lug nuts to spec. Don't want to have one of them wheels falling off while you're driving. That would not be fun. Moment of truth. Oh yeah, it's off. Look at that. No more light.